Thank you very, very much for joining us today, and welcome to our Garden Center Town Hall presentation with Paula Riley from Niagara College. Our topic is easy, realistic tips that help promote your business online. Simple, easy stuff that makes the social media not that complicated, not that time consuming, but fairly effective. This webinar, of course, is designed to give all of us Garden Center owners and our teams easy, realistic tips to help promote our businesses online, even during the busiest seasons. Dear gosh, we need the help, right? May is just around the corner when the white stuff is going away. Paula's going to walk us through some simple ways to showcase products, highlight seasonal offerings, connect with our local communities using social media, of course. The focus is going to be on practical ideas, content shortcuts, and small changes that can make a really, really big impact. And of course, it helps us all feel a lot more confident and consistent, and hopefully gets those dollars running through the till even more. Paul is the Associate Director of the Business and Commercialization Innovation Center, or the BCIC, where she works, hands-on with small and medium-sized businesses to develop social media strategies that actually drive results. With a background as a former marketing agency owner, Paul has spent years helping businesses translate what they do best into very clear, engaging content that resonates with customers. Through BCIC, she now leads a team supporting organizations across a wide range of industries with social strategy, content planning, and execution that, of course, helps them show up consistently and purposefully online. She holds multiple post-secondary credentials in marketing and business, but Paula's real expertise comes from working directly with business owners who are juggling everyday operations while trying to make social media work for our brand. We all know that little itty-bitty struggle. In this webinar, she'll share practical and realistic approaches that we can use as garden centers to build visibility, connect with the community, and make social media feel very, very manageable and not overwhelming. Welcome, Paula. We need a little bit of help, so let's take it away.
Thanks to everyone for attending. As I take you through some information here today, as you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm going to do my best to monitor those and answer them as they come up. And I also have shared this deck with the team so they can send it out to you later as well. So today we're here to, try to demystify social media a little bit. It is one of those things that has become the cost of doing business, yet feels so overwhelming to businesses. So we want to look at what's realistic for a business who is wearing so many different hats and doing so many different things in a day and still try to do social media in a meaningful way. So the first thing is why. With garden centers, I know specifically there is a shift in the demographics happening, right? You still have boomers coming. They know what plants they're going to want every year. They know what they're doing when they enter. But the pandemic, and I'm sorry that I continue have to bring that up, even though it feels a long ways ago now. But it really birthed millennials and Gen Z loving everything to do with gardening. And that has carried on through and is becoming a core of their DNA. And it doesn't matter where they live, if they're suburban or urban, they're finding a way to bring plant life into their lives. And because of that, we are dealing with an online generation. Millennials are very much online. Gen Z are constantly online, and they are going to become a very large customer base. The good thing is this is a great time to learn and grow your social media as they are growing and kind of coming into their purchasing power. This group of people, they tend to discover products online first, not necessarily from businesses themselves, but from just kind of that content community making content about certain things. And then they want that. I'm sure some of you have had experiences where someone comes into the garden center. It's like, I've seen this plant online. I don't know what it is. I just want it. Can I have it? And that really is the power of social media. These groups also trust people online. With the rise of AI content, that might change in the next few years, but right now they trust online over traditional advertising methods that we've become accustomed to using. So just like at one point in time we didn't need a website and that became the cost of doing business, that is now what's happened with social media. So what's a little bit different about garden centers? So you are highly seasonal, right? Which means the time your time that you feel like you probably can make the most content is really not when you want to be making content. So as Tanya mentioned, kind of when May hits and the mayhem begins, that's really when you want the content coming out, but you don't have as much time to do so. So we're going to focus on how do we just ingrain this into your day and not make it overwhelming for you. The benefit to garden centers is you have all the visuals. You do not need to make the visuals. The plants and everything in the garden centers really speak to themselves, and they lend themselves so well to the visual advertising medium we find ourselves in today. One thing to know about social media is that social media is organic and then there is paid content. When we're paying, it means it falls under what we call advertising. And these two things really do need to work hand in hand to have a successful social channel. So just making videos or making posts and putting them up online most likely isn't going to be enough to have a really strong return on investment. So you do need to put some advertising dollars behind this. For garden centers off the bat, you're going to be focusing on the meta platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. If you want to dabble there, I would say put the focus on your meta platforms. And if you did want to go into the TikTok world, whatever videos you post on Instagram, I would just also post on TikTok. TikTok advertising is a bit of a different beast. So we are going to focus on meta today. So you can choose your audience. You can put geo targets on that, meaning your garden center is in a specific geographic location and you really want to only reach people within a certain geographic location. You can put those constraints on just so you're not wasting ad dollars on someone who most likely won't make their way to the garden center. And the goal here behind the advertising is to try and grow your network, get more people to know about you, and then you want them to engage with your organic content. So I would say when May hits and things are really starting to bloom, or even as you're getting things ready, I would have a couple posts ready to go, put some advertising dollars behind it, and then move into the rest of the season of only focusing on organic content. When it comes to paid, you get to set your budget. You can say, I only want to spend $30 on an ad and see where that gets me. And that is okay. You get a lot of analytics from that and helps you to make those decisions moving forward as to what's working with the community. So, our paid advertising is to grow our network, and our organic advertising is to cultivate our network. It's to get them to be invested in what we do and really become a part of our community. This is going to be the key thing with social media is you're not selling, right? No one is going on social media to look at advertisements. The second we see an advertisement, our brains know how to scroll very quickly past it, right? So if we just see a price on sale now, it's really not why anyone is sitting and spending their time on social media. We're sitting on social media to be entertained, to learn, or just to pass time, right? So we do want to stay away from very traditional advertising methods, right? You might have a great sale on a certain flower right now, but that's not what you're going to lead with. And I have some examples a little later. So, what does this look like? This could be showing transformations. I will fully admit I love plants. Plants do not love me. So if I get anything wrong on the plant front, I do apologize. But let's say you're starting seedlings right now. Taking images of that through varying stages as they grow and then showcasing that plant when it is in full bloom, that would be a transformation to me, seeing how it went from seed to plant, for example. It could be we're getting things set up in our garden center, right? And just images or a quick video of the process of setting things up, it pulls people into the community. We just like to know things. We're a curious breed, right? And we like to know what's going on behind the scenes. So don't be scared to show those things. The other thing that I have always noticed in any garden center that I walk into is the people that work there know what they're doing and they are passionate about what they're doing. That is your secret weapon in a garden center, right? So you want to share those people, you want to share their passions. And this can be really simple, right? It could be going around to various people. What's your favorite plant that's going to be in your yard this year? And having various people answer that question. Super simple video to do, but utilize all of the people that are making your garden center what it is, right? And then always creating emotions as much as possible and not just promotions. It doesn't mean we can't showcase promotions, just the way that we approach that is going to be a little bit different. Things that we like to do is put content into pillars. This just helps us feel organized when we're making various pieces of content, whether that is static, and static means an image, or if that is a video piece of content. So popular ones that I would put in garden centers would be anything seasonal posts. So this could be things that are coming into bloom. This could be a fall mum season. This could be holiday planter season, but putting the seasonal buckets in place and making sure you're putting content about that. If it was, let's say, a holiday planter basket, to me, I wouldn't just put an image of a planter basket up and say our planters are now available. I would take a video, I would speed it up of someone putting that planter together. I would want to see how they're bringing all the pieces together to make those beautiful things. Quick tips and how-tos. Like I said, there is so much knowledge in the garden centers. That is where the knowledge exists. And people just want to know what to do. What if I have a full sun backyard and a full shade front yard? Help. What am I planting? And where, right? Or what hanging basket will work in a full sun yard? So go to what people are asking you, right? So people are coming up to you regularly, and I'm sure you hear some of the same questions over and over. If you're hearing questions regularly, to me, that immediately goes piece of content, right? That is something I want to put out to our community. Behind the scenes, all of the behind the scenes stuff. We love to see things come to life and how people are operating. So, again, not being scared to show that. And then deeper educational content, right? If I plant something, do I have to fertilize it regularly? What does that look like? Again, those questions that are probably coming to you on a regular basis. I am going to give you an AI cheat code for helping develop some of your social media. So what people might do is they might go to ChatGPT and say, I'm a garden center. What content should I put out? Don't say that. Say, I'm a garden center and I'm making content. Can you tell me what the top 10 most searched questions of gardening are? And if you take that list, that's a really great way to get a bit of content list that you want to create. And then you take those things and you make them into a video or a static image format. So the types of posts that we can do, the first one is a carousel image. So a carousel image is where there's multiple image that allows you to scroll through. When it comes to static content, carousel images are always going to perform better than a single image. So I would single image is always going to be your lowest tier of content. Carousel is your next tier. And then because we are in the age of video, which is what makes all of this so overwhelming, our short videos, reels, TikToks, shorts, they call them many different things. But it is those videos that are kind of never more than 60 seconds in length. We actually try to keep things between 8 and 25 seconds over here. And that is just because we know attention spans are quite low when we're sitting on social media. So if you're going to tier this content as what you want to aim to do is videos first, carousel second, statics third. Our formula to not be so overwhelming for small businesses is one video a week, one carousel a week. If you can commit to that and start to build that into your day, that won't feel so overwhelming. If you start to get really comfortable with it, you might find that you can do 2 videos a week quite easily. So I wanted to take you through a real life example of a post. And I did pull this from someone's social. So if you are on this webinar, I wanted to pull it as an example of a post that they put effort into. This is a really lovely image of the garden center. And to create that graphic took time, most likely using something like Canva and putting it together. I would say a post like this still takes 10-ish minutes to create, of sitting down and actually creating it. And I've also put their caption here. We don't want to underestimate the power of our captions. So it's very plain and simple, right? They're telling you they have geraniums and petunias, and they're just $2.50 at the moment. They did give a little piece in here, easy color for planters, baskets, or garden beds. So I wanted to take this post and show you what my team would do if we were going to put out this same piece of content. So the first thing we would do is I would move into a carousel post, right? Because I already know that multiple images are going to perform better than a single image. And I would, please forgive me if these are not the right flowers, but I hope they're either petunias or geraniums. I would come in and I would just take an up close photo of a few different colors that we're offering, or the varieties. Being up close allows us to just appreciate the flower for what the flower is. We're able to see those colors up close, and it's just really visually pleasing. What will happen is that when someone sees this post, this would be on Instagram, you would see the first image, and then a person could scroll through. Even if they don't scroll through, if they go back to that post, Instagram has already moved on to the second image, which means someone can, in theory, see the same post more than once, and it will look different, which again just really helps with those waning attention spans, right? And then the caption is where I really wanted to bring this to life. So main character energy, but make it flowers, right? So we're connecting with people in a different way. Soft pastels, bold and dramatic, bright and happy, right? Again, we're trying to create some type of emotion in somebody. There's a color to match your vibe. And I'm still putting the price in here because the original post indicated the price was a good price. So we don't want to forget about that, right? Yes, they're just $2.50 right now. And then kind of filling in what they had already put. But you'll notice here that that initial caption has some personality. Again, this is somewhere where if you want to use AI to help you with writing those captions, you can do that. I would never say AI write this caption for me, because you always want to and then just use what AI gives you, but you can take inspiration from it. The reason I wouldn't just use what AI gives you is because it's not necessarily going to be the full personality of your business. Each of your businesses has their own personality, right? And you do want to capture what the business's personality is and the people behind that business's personality. But it can give you an idea of how to elevate the post. And usually when you see it written in a different way, you can go, okay, I know how to do that. And I know how to do it even better now. So that is a really great way to help with the captions and not make that overwhelming. I know for a lot of people, sitting and writing captions is the most awful thing in the world because they just don't know how to connect with people. So again, this is where I think AI can help to come across some of those roadblocks, but I wouldn't ever copy and paste from AI because it does start to feel very AI written. The other thing here is hashtags. Hashtags are becoming obsolete. People still use them, but what is happening is keywords. So you maybe know keywords from your website. If you've ever spoken to a marketer, they'll talk about keywords for search engine optimization. But now that Meta also uses AI, what it's doing is when someone searches, they're not searching via hashtag, they're searching a word, and it's pulling keywords out of people's posts. So you don't have to hashtag it. You can keyword load at the end, but you don't have to put that hashtag symbol in front of it. I prefer just a well-written caption that has the keywords naturally written throughout. So if you all were to open your phone right now and go to Instagram and search something, the first thing that comes up is the AI searches. Um, and that's why it's really important to build those keywords in. So here, listing the flowers is really important because someone might say that. Planters, hanging baskets, things that just people would kind of be searching for, right? You know what's popular in the business every season, so you can be sure that that's the type of things people are searching for. So this is what I would do if I was taking it into a carousel post. And doing this would only take you a couple minutes. Do not get out a fancy camera. You do not need it. Whatever phone you have is very capable to do whatever you need in it for social media. I would go up close. I would take the 3 images. I'm an iPhone user personally, so I know that I can go to iPhone. I can hit the button to just automatically edit the image, or you can establish an editing style. A cheat code for that is going to Pinterest and saying whatever your phone is, it could be editing for soft and glowy photos, and it will give you everything you need to change it to. And then you can save that as a preset, apply that to all your photos if you want, or you can just use an automatic one. Sometimes the photos are going to speak for themselves and don't need any editing. Right from there, you just go into Instagram, select your multiple photos, write your caption, right? So getting out of Canva, I made it easier by not even having to go into Canva, but the post is going to be more engaging and it will be quicker to do. If I was going to take it up one more level, because again, we are in that age of video, I would take, the audio is not going to work on this. I actually don't know how to share with audio on Zoom. I'm sorry, everyone. But all this was taking the flowers. Again, I like that kind of macro look, going up and close so we can really see the texture. We can see the bright, beautiful colors, and putting it into a very short video. And I didn't even change the caption from the carousel post. I would use the exact same caption. Again, to create something like this, you're not going to use a fancy camera. You're only going to use whatever phone is at the disposal, and you can just quickly pan across from flowers. It doesn't have to be complicated. The next thing to know with social media is engagement is always better than followers. So if you see a garden center account and they have 45,000 followers, and you're like, oh my goodness, how do we get 45,000 followers? The question isn't how many followers someone has, it's how engaged are the people who are following them, right? Because engagement means someone has seen your post, they've interacted with your post, whether that be through liking it or commenting on it. It could mean that they went from the post to your bio so that they can learn more about the business. Those are how we want to capture people, because those are the people that are moving into a purchase decision. So followers don't matter. If you only have 300 followers, but you're getting, 8 to 10 comments on a post, you're doing very, very well in the world of social. So remember, don't focus on chasing followers. Focus on cultivating a community, the community that is around your garden center who can make that purchase decision and ultimately support your small business. Ways to focus on engagement: always check your DMs and your comments and reply back to them. Even if the reply on a comment is hearting their comment so they know that you've seen it. If someone is going to DM you, have something in place where you are responding to people in a timely manner. And this is going to go back to the next generation that is using social media. They're DMing. That's direct messages. They're not picking up a phone and calling the garden center to ask you a question. And some of them might even be scared to ask you questions in person if they see you. But what they will do is they'll send a message with questions. So think of this as just like having a phone or having a salesperson. Direct messages, responding in a timely manner, really do support that community. Encourage your customers to tag you or take photos at the garden center. Again, creating that community. There's different ways to do this. You can just kind of have signs up. It could even be take us in a photo of your completed garden or something like that. Some people create spots within the garden centers that are known for really lovely spots to take a photo and encourage people to share those photos showcasing their visits in the garden center. That will increase the amount of times, more times your business is mentioned, the more likely your post will get pushed to what we call non-followers. So your post can be seen by non-followers, and that's how you can see that you're growing. Always focus on that local reach, right? If you are a garden center in London, Ontario, it probably doesn't matter what people in Niagara are thinking too much about your business because they're not going to be that regular customer for you, right? So always focus on that local reach. I mentioned keywords before. You can put the location of the business in the keyword, or if you're advertising, you can set the geographic reach that could actually be advertised to, just to make sure it's only focusing on that local community. Some smart growth tips. So boost posts for things like workshops or events that are happening at the garden center. Budget does not need to be large for this. I know, again, those like fall planters, the holiday planters, if you do things like those and do any type of workshops around it, that does tend to draw in a lot of people. It tends to be a nice outing for people. So I would boost post things like that. And then always using analytics to guide content. Marketing is a social science. So it is not 2 + 2 = 4. It's not that easy. So sometimes there is some trial and error here, right? It's posting something and then observing how that post performed. So going to your analytics tab, whether that be on Facebook or Instagram. I like Instagram's analytics. I find them to be very clean, easy, and they just put the most important stuff forward. It's going to tell you how many people viewed it. It's going to tell you, male versus female. It'll give you enough information and location. And then it'll tell you your top performing posts, things like that, so that you can begin to tailor your content. You might find there's a single style of content that is really resonating with people, with your audience, and you can start to just focus your efforts there. For example, I'm working with a honey company right now who also is a bee farm, and the honey is beautiful, and we can make really beautiful images of the honey. But every time we put the owner of the farm in a video, it performs 10 times better. So we knew, let's focus more of our content into the owner of the farm. But we don't know that until we start posting and start looking at those analytics. You don't have to be obsessed with the analytics. You do not need to look at them every day and be checking it regularly. I would say a monthly check-in on your analytics is good enough. And then cross promote with various things that are happening in your store. So this is called omni-channel marketing, where we bring all of our marketing efforts together so it feels very cohesive. So if you have a promotion happening in store on something, and you've also done an e-newsletter to advise that, make sure that you're also creating engaging content within that. And that's just making it so that you're reaching people all with the same messaging, and trying to really reinforce that messaging. Consumers like when everything feels similar, right? Because it's starting to feel like we're engaging with people in our social media and our marketing efforts, and we want to feel the personality behind the scenes. So we want all of our marketing efforts to work together, and we want them to feel and we want them to look the same. Your tools for social media, a phone. That is all you need. You truly do not need anything else when it comes to hardware. You could get a mic if you really wanted, if you wanted to do more of the content that are people involved. But iPhones also can capture the audio good enough. You do not need to feel like you're making a film or you're currently a director. Even for us, we have professional cameras. And we only bring those out when we're creating, the goal is to create a really good advertisement that looks like a commercial. Then we will up the level, but everything else we film on phone. It is so much easier for everybody. And when you're filming on phone, it's stored on the phone. You can create it on the phone. You don't ever have to leave the phone, making it a lot easier. If you have something on like an SD card, then you've got to go take that, put it into a computer, move it into a program. That's what starts to make social feel like it takes a long time and that the effort needed is so much more. So I would not leave a phone. As far as editing goes, I'm very happy with Instagram's in house editing tools. It's a good one to get familiar with. It makes it very easy. One thing that can make your life easier, though, is CapCut. And CapCut is a editing video editing tool. There is a free version. The free version, I wouldn't suggest getting the paid version until you feel very comfortable with the free version because it has a lot of capabilities in it. CapCut also can just be downloaded on the phone. You still don't need to leave the phone, and it has access to everything, your media bank that you've put on the phone. What's really nice about CapCut is there will be templates on there. So there will be various video templates that will, kind of be like an 8-second clip here, a 6-second clip. You just add them in, it edits it together for you. And it already has music attached to it, making it very, very easy. Also, what I like about it is it allows you to create videos from photos. It's going to be easier in your day to day as you're just doing everything that you do to snap photos of various things. And you can take a video template that is just uploading 15 photos and it creates a video for you from those photos. It's still just static images, right, that are moving, but it again gets you into that video bucket where we're finding more engagement. So CapCut is definitely my top for an external software to use. Canva is another option. And if you're already using Canva for your email or for even signage in the store, you can use that. Canva also allows you to upload your branding assets. So if you have a brand kit, like, or even just a logo and you know the colors of the business, you can have that preloaded in Canva and then pull templates that are already customized to your branding, which again can be a lot easier. Canva you can use kind of on the phone. It definitely works a lot better on the desktop. So I do still prefer CapCut. If I was going to go tell you to experiment with anything today and only choose one, I would certainly tell you to choose CapCut. It will make your life a lot easier and it will make you feel like a very strong video editor very quickly. And then finally, the in-house editing. If you're posting just a static image, don't go outside of Instagram to post that. Just do that within Instagram. So let's think about our peak season survival plan, right? We are going to be moving into peak season right now, and you're trying to do social media. So if I broke this down into a 3-post weekly formula, I would do a product spotlight. And again, it could be static or it could be video. So maybe a product that is coming into bloom, a product that is just coming onto shelves, something, or a trending plant. Sometimes there are plants that will start to go around the social media circle that now everybody all of a sudden wants. So I would do a product spotlight of that. I wouldn't make it difficult. If it was a video, I would just probably do a pan of it, or I would get one of the employees to hold the plant and tell me about it for 30 seconds, right? How often does it need to be watered? Full sun, partial sun, those things, key things about it. I'd put that into a piece of video. I would then do one educational post a week, so something more general. And this could change, right? If we're in a drought of a summer, then your watering tips might change versus if we're having a heavy rain summer. Again, these are the things that people are coming into you with. You already know the questions people are asking you. Turn that into a piece of content. And then I would always have a community moment. So that could be, maybe it's having a staff member each week pick the plant of the week that they want to talk about. It could be a customer showcasing their garden, a local event, or something behind the scenes, something that really makes us feel like we're connecting with the business on more than just a procurement standpoint. So I do have some, I call them videos in the wild. I've pulled some strong garden center videos. Oh, it's not going to work. Okay, I'll describe them for you then. I would really like you all to watch these after, because I think you'll see how easy it is. So the She Doesn't Know It Yet was just a trend that went around, and it was people taking, she doesn't know it yet, but maybe in 5 years she's going to do this. And it was adapted in many ways, but it all started with she doesn't know it yet. So this is just someone outside the garden or looking at plants. And it's just, she doesn't know it yet, but she's about to leave the garden center with 15 more plants than she came for. And it's just someone walking around the garden center. And that is why that works, is because it's relatable, right? We walk in thinking we know what we're about to do, but everything just looks so pretty and we want to leave with everything that's there. So that is just, again, another relatable moment. The next one is meme culture. I am an elder millennial, they call me. So I am not overly connected to meme culture as those who are younger than me are. But meme culture is very, very big in our younger millennials, as well as our Generation Z love various memes. There are trending ones that you can pull and can adapt. If you go onto Instagram, your own Instagram, you can look at what's trending and you can just pull and copy those videos. And then there's also an educational one, a community one, and a point of view video to look at. But these are ones I've kind of gone through what is been popular in garden centers on Instagram. One thing that I did notice was that there's actually not a lot of videos. You do have a couple very large garden centers creating content quite regularly. So they're kind of taking over all of that trending space for garden centers. But what that said to me right now is that there is so much room for people to be creating content and to be seen quite easily, because very few are doing it in the garden center space compared to other spaces. The key takeaway with social media is it's just about planting roots in your community. It is just creating a community. It is not selling to people or chasing likes. That will not help you. The other thing for me about social media is that it isn't a miracle solution to a business. And I think that's really important to note. And why that's really important to note is because you shouldn't get too stressed about it, because you really should only put the effort into it for the return on investment you're going to get for it, right? So you don't need someone creating videos for you 35 hours a week. The return on investment will not be there, right? So it is, make it manageable for your business. I personally, if I ran a garden center, as someone who knows, I know a lot about social media, and I have a team that creates content. I don't personally love creating content. So, what I would do is I would go to the person in my business who likes that. I would find who loves making videos and who is connected to it. Because if you don't consume content, if you are not someone who sits on social media and scrolls regularly, I promise you is going to be hard to figure out a way to connect with people, because you're just not a part of the culture in the same way. But there is someone in your organization who is. And if you were to say, hey, as part of your job, could you create 2 videos a week, like about an hour a week of your job? You pick the right person, they're going to be excited to do it. They're going to go want to do it for you. And they're probably going to do it better than you trying to figure out that culture. Now, if you are constantly on social media and you're consuming it, you already know what's popular and you already know what meme culture is. You know those things. And so you'll find it a lot easier. But I know for me, it would be finding the person who likes to do it. Because when someone likes to do that, it comes through in their post. It becomes really fun in their posts, and they just really understand what people like and want to see. So that is what I would do. As far as your next steps, just start creating. Do not make it perfect. It's okay. You're going to learn along the way. Any skill that we start with, we're not going to be experts with when we first start. So I would just start posting something, whatever state the business is in at this moment, although you're not busy season yet. Start to build that community, start to share things, right? Because I can tell you on Pinterest, everyone's planting their gardens right now, right? People are going to Pinterest, they're looking at other gardens. They know that snow is melting. They know they're not supposed to plant till Victoria Day weekend, but they're planning and they're dreaming. So start the conversation with them now. It could be plants you're excited about this year. Maybe you have new varieties coming into the garden center that you haven't had in previous years, and you just want to talk about them. Go ahead and do that. You don't have to have the pretty plant in the photo yet. It could be showing those seedlings, just saying we're just as excited as you, getting ready. Have those community moments. And so just post one thing this week. Post a tip video, post an educational video, go behind the scenes. We're not really in seasonal moment at the moment for boosting, but when you get there, try boosting a post and see how it goes. But just start creating and don't do anything outside of your phone. It will feel significantly more complicated if you do try to do so. And again, social media is not the solution to everything. It has to be combined with smart marketing, right? It is a tool in the toolbox. It is, so don't put your entire business on social media. Don't think that that is the solution for everything. It is certainly something that you need to be doing to resonate with our younger audiences, but build it as part of your entire marketing campaign. And that is all I have today. I didn't see any questions in the chat, but if anyone does have any questions, please go ahead and put them in there.
Well, Paula, while we're waiting for a few questions, I just want to say thank you very, very much. That was incredibly informative, and you make it sound so easy. You really do.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? Is it can be easy, but it's the more someone starts to worry about it and fret about it, the more overwhelming and of a beast it becomes.
Yeah.
Our big thing with everybody is just start to put it into your day, right? Even if you see a flower that looks beautiful in a perfect sunlight in a moment, just take that photo. You don't need to post it that day. Just get it there in your media bank, right? And really just start posting. The other thing, people do hire us to do social media, but what I always tell people is we're actually not the best solution. The best solution is always in house. It is the people that are in the business and operating the business and can speak the brand's voice that is always going to be better than hiring someone to do your social media. Just connect with people the way that everyone that I have experienced in garden centers does when I walk into one and ask all the questions. They're already very good at connection. So just bring that into the digital space.
I learned a lot. I truly hope that our attendees learned a lot. Probably the most reassuring thing for me to hear is it shouldn't be perfect. And we really wanted, find someone who's got the passion for it. There's some beautiful, beautiful sunrises that happen in our greenhouses that not everybody gets to see. So if we can convey those, that would be an awesome, awesome thing.
Yeah. There is one question
Oh,
I will share.
perfect.
So in the beginning, I mentioned to stick to meta platforms. Yeah. So what I would do, so first thing, I should have mentioned this, I'm sorry, but if you've started Instagram and have not converted it to a business account, make sure you do that first. Because if it's not converted to a business, you don't get your analytics. So I would focus on Instagram. And I would focus on Instagram just because of the generational makeup of who is on it. So your boomers and Gen X, they're still using Facebook, but in a different way than people are using Instagram. So I would connect my Instagram and Facebook together because it's all Meta. They can be connected. I would post via Instagram, but I would cross post it to Facebook. So I would just enable those posts to also go on Facebook. So you're posting on two different platforms without the effort of posting on two different platforms. But Instagram would be my main focus. You've really got an engaged millennial audience on there. Millennials are in their purchasing power, right? And they own homes, some of them. And so that is where I would put all of my effort, cross posting to Facebook. I wouldn't, unless you have someone who loves it, I wouldn't worry too much about TikTok at the moment. Yeah, the Facebook account should be business as well. So everything, as long as you've connected them together, they'll start to act almost like one platform. This is the convenience of Facebook, now Meta, buying Instagram quite a few years ago now. But you do want everything converted to a business profile. Without that, you don't get your analytics. And to me, if you're not looking at analytics, you could really be wasting time and resources. Paid advertising, how big of a geographic area would you put? So we've done research on how far people are willing to drive for various things, and it looks like 20 kilometers is the max someone is going to drive to go somewhere. So I would put a 20K radius on it. If you're in an area that's really congested of garden centers, even keeping that 20-kilometer radius on, because you can start to sway people from one or another, but most likely people won't drive more than 20 kilometers. Unless, I will say one caveat here, is you are also an experience-driven garden center. So Vineland, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting their name right now? In Vineland, the biggest one. We have it here.
You think
The watering
can?
The watering can is an experience-driven garden center. So something like that would go further just because they're pulling people in not just to buy plants, but to like go to the restaurant and things inside. So if you are experience-driven as well, I would expand that reach.
I think if there's no other questions, again, thank you. Wow, you make this easy. You really do. But also just a quick reminder to all of our attendees that we're going to post the session on the website sometime in the next couple days. And Lisa from Landscape Ontario will email everyone who's signed up. We'll get the link. So again, thank you, Lisa. You make this very easy for the rest of us. If there's any reason that you missed the link, please send a really quick email to Lisa. So that's lpascoe@landscapeontario.com, and she'll get it out to you as soon as she can. Also, keep in mind, please, that we've got 2 more upcoming town hall sessions that we're really, really excited. And those are coming up next Friday, the 13th, redesigning marketing to attract and retain the emerging generation. And on the 27th at noon, we've got AI in the garden industry. So we're from inspiration to implementation with Edwin Meyer, who is an international speaker and entrepreneur specializing in practical applications. Again, thank you very, very much. If you haven't had an opportunity to sign up for the next couple of town hall sessions, please do so. We'd love to see you. And again, our goal is to make this spring a little bit easier for you and put a few extra dollars in that till. Thanks again, Paula.
No problem. Have a great day, everyone.